Hey there, ladies and gents. It's me, Sunny, from Atlas Health and Nutrition, and today I'm here to talk to you again about my paleo protein experiments in weight training, body weight training, and pretty much bodybuilding. And it's really about using and eating much more natural proteins. Though I have and will be talking about more of my whey protein experiments, which is a bit more kind of on the edge between acceptable paleo and maybe not so paleo. It depends on whether you're allergic to dairy or not. I've been trying to use more whole proteins in order to help me build muscle naturally without having to rely on, even whey protein concentrates or anything that's somewhat more processed. Though, ironically, of course, some of the proteins that I have been using will still have gone through some level of processing, but I'm trying to eat as close to natural as possible. And so, I've been using wild pink salmon from Raincoast Trading as one of my primary protein and lean meat wild protein sources because seafood is a real good source of a lot of vitamins and nutrients, including magnesium and iodine. This one specifically has some vitamin A and some calcium, and I get a lot of calcium from this fish as well as raw or cooked kale. And so the other reason I choose Raincoast Trading is the fact that their cans are BPA free, and it's definitely part of the premium, but it's definitely well worth it because I've eaten salmon from other canned goods companies that sell fish, and frankly the salt is a major problem as well, and the fact that they're still lined with BPA coatings essentially, and that has been something that's irritated my throat in the past and caused problems. So definitely a great protein source, lean protein. Will definitely suit some blood types who might not be as red meat oriented as my kind is. I think I'm probably O blood type for that reason. And I eat a lot of this in a day, and we're talking several handfuls, so several cans of Raincoast Trading wild pink salmon. Mind you, you want it to be wild because it's much higher in omega-3 compared to omega-6, probably 0.7 grams of omega-3 to about roughly 0.2 omega-6, which is a 3 to 1 ratio, 3 omega-3 versus 1 omega-6, which is great actually. Though you have to balance it off. And the advantage of having omega-3 also, omega-3 is very useful for building muscle. The science hasn't exactly figured out exactly why omega-3 is so useful to helping you to rebuild muscle post-workout and build muscle strength. That it works. So you definitely want something with a high omega-3 protein source. Raincoast Trading, wild pink salmon, wild sockeye salmon, or even wild tuna. Well, wild tuna has omega-3, but not the other calcium additions. And of course, my secret to making the wild whole foods, as effective as I can, maybe not quite as effective as whey, but much more effective for rapidly being processed for building muscle, is to use super enzymes, which has been discussed as a great way to help you improve your digestion, especially if you're just starting paleo diets, still having a bit of trouble digesting because your body is still kind of in a wreck because of your insulin's all messed up because you've been eating tons of donuts and Krispy Kreme donuts for the last 20 years. And super enzymes will definitely help you process carbohydrates, fats, and proteins much more effectively and efficiently. I've found it to be very, very effective and very useful for speeding up and helping with digestion anyway, speeding up processing of protein. And definitely, I've been trying out the protocol where I've been eating post-workout maybe 2 cans of wild pink salmon, and taking about roughly 2, maybe even 3 of these capsules eventually in the morning, but 2 definitely post workout after eating those 2 cans of wild pink salmon. I found it to be much more effective in digesting that protein and rapidly putting it into building muscle, and I've seen my strength go back up after I've been doing that. When I don't, it's much slower and much harder to use the natural protein because there's a lot of other fat elements and other sort of minerals and nutrients that kind of slow down the digestion of the protein, which is why whey protein powder generally tends to be so effective, is because it's just straight, primarily mostly protein, a bit of fat, not as much, and it's much more easily absorbed. So to speed that up, if you don't want to eat whey protein and you want to stay as natural as possible, you can try to essentially combine super enzymes with the fish. And obviously the super enzymes uses oxabile, betaine hydrochloride, and some pancreatin. So that's my little trick to helping you use natural proteins, whether it's wild fish or even wild game meats like buffalo or beef. And if you have access to super enzymes or brought some with you along for your little road trip or travel abroad, so bring lots of super enzymes if you're traveling long distances outside the country, that'll definitely help you to better process the protein so that you can continue to maximize your strength anywhere. And especially if you're combining it with extremely useful Navy SEAL style body weight training or CrossFit type exercises, you will definitely be able to stay completely strong and fit while on the road. And if you know how to hunt, even better. Okay, that's just me, Sunny, giving you some advice there for helping you to stay strong while on paleo, and of course stay fit, and of course to burn way more fat and stay lean naturally.